Welcome to How to Become a Production SQL Database Administrator. My name is Raphael. In the previous video, we looked at what VMware virtualization was and what is a domain. And I strongly recommend you look at that first video. Continuing, the next series of videos is going to be doing the following. We're going to be downloading 3 applications that we need. One is the VMware Workstation 12 Pro. One is going to be the Windows Server 2012 operating system. And one is going to be the SQL 2012 application. So all these 3 applications, I'm going to be showing you what we need for the next series of videos. After that, I'm going to create a virtual machine on the domain for the domain controller and install Windows 2012 operating system. Once I've done that, I'm going to promote the Windows 2012 operating system to what's called a DC, or a domain controller, and thus we'll have our domain. I'm also on the same domain controller. I'm going to create what's called service accounts for SQL Server to run, and I'll explain that in a second. And then we're going to create another virtual machine and install, again, another Windows Server operating system. And then we're going to create virtual drives, separate hard drives for the SQL files that we'll be needing. And then finally, we're going to install the SQL Server 2012. And we're going to configure the SQL Server using the multiple drives we created with the service count. And then finally, we're going to join the domain. So we're going to get the second virtual machine joining the first domain virtual machine, which is the domain controller. So there's going to be a series of videos that we're going to do here. And the whole idea here is to provide you with the production environment, which most likely is going to be, as I said, a domain. It's highly unlikely you'll be working in an environment that is not domain oriented. Virtually every company, even smaller ones now, have domains. So we're going to provide this. So this is the next series of videos we're going to be covering. In this series of videos, what I want you to do now is just open your Word document. And I've given you 3 websites to follow. One is for the VM Workstation. One is for the operating system, and one is for the SQL Server. So just copy and then paste to your web browser. You can do it individually or one by one. I've done it here already. And then you can see that I've copy-pasted the VMware website, and this is the website you'll get to. I've also copy-pasted here on a different tab the Windows operating system, and we'll need the ISO file there. And then I've also copy-pasted the SQL Server, and I've selected which one we're going to need, which is the SQL full ISO version here. So you can do that on your computer. Just copy-paste each of those to separate tabs, and then we're going to start. In this video, I'm going to start by downloading the VMware Workstation Pro trial for 30 days that we need. And as you can see, if you just look at some of these here, VM Workstation Pro is the easiest, fastest, and most reliable way to evaluate new operating systems and software applications. As I mentioned previously, this application is going to be on your desktop or laptop, and this is regarded as a host, if you will. Now, any virtual machines that we create using this application will be regarded as guest applications or guest operating systems. So this is a great way to test applications and operating systems, and that's what we're going to do here. So when you get to this page, just click on Download Now, and obviously it's going to start the download. I've already downloaded to save the time, so it's very easy. Just click Download. When it's finished, it'll be most likely in your Downloads directory, and here it is. Once it's here, double-click the VM Workstation. Go Yes. And this just takes about a couple of minutes to install. It is going to ask you for your email, because this is a 30-day trial period. And if you wish to do that, that's fine. If you don't, you can just follow along. You don't necessarily have to do these steps that I'm doing, but obviously the whole purpose here is to provide you with what a domain is. Go Next, Accept, Next, Next. If you want to do that, experience settings, fine, go Next. Go Next. As I said, this is a relatively easy installation, and it will only take a few minutes. But it is going to ask you, as I said, for your email account, which I'll provide mine, and it'll give you a 30-day trial period. This is virtual environments are the leading way nowadays. Most major companies, from mid-size to large size, are utilizing. And this is a tremendous amount of obviously the physical hardware, the server room that you would ordinarily need for physical devices. This is replacing, if you will, those multiple devices by one or two host servers. And they're a little costly, obviously, so that's one of the reasons many people may not do this. But this is a great way of creating virtual machines. And obviously, I don't want to get too into deep. I know I'm talking about it, but into virtualization. Maybe I'll have another course devoted to that, but here it's fine. So just click Finish, and now the application has been installed. We can minimize that. And obviously, I'm using a Windows 10 operating system that I just installed yesterday. So I'm new to this myself. So on this little, if you do have Windows 10, 12, just go here. And I'm going to bring this down here, as I like to have it on my bar here. And I'll just double click. And this is where it's going to ask you for your email. So this is just look at that. Your evaluation period ends in 30 days. That's fine. I think I've already installed it. That's why. So this is the interface for the workstation that you're going to get, and it's a very easy one. So the first thing we're going to do, actually I'm going to do this in the next video because it requires a few steps. But you can see, just go to, what I always like to do is just go to these various tabs here. Oops. Go to these various tabs. I think I closed it. Go to these various tabs and just look at what they're referencing, what are the submenus, if you will. It just gives me an idea of what to look for and just kind of familiarize myself with it. And obviously, it's your standard tab here. So as you can see, there are no virtual machines. If I had created one, you'll see one under here. And we're going to create now a virtual machine in the next video. And then I'm going to install the operating system. One thing I would recommend here, so we can save some time, is go open this Word document, copy this, and then copy this individually. And then on separate tabs, you'll see this for the Windows operating system. Paste the website here, and you'll get to this website. And then click on this and download it and save it. It will download to your downloads directory. Do the same thing for the SQL Server. Copy this and paste it here, and then select this one and go next. And again, it is going to download to your default directory of downloads. Once you've done that, we're ready to go. And I think I'll leave it here. And the next one, we're going to create a virtual machine and download the operating system that I've already downloaded. Then you should download it also. So I'll just leave it here. And my name is Raphael, and this is how to become a production SQL database administrator.